The weakness in this market is hilarious. We got some FUD today. If you've tuned into my Bitcoin update, you would have seen it. I'm pretty sure you would have seen it online as well. But if you didn't, Binance sold literally 99% of their holdings over the past month. So through January to Feb, they sold 94% of their Bitcoin and 99% of their ETH and Solana. So they're holding very, very little right now. And this just left a sour taste in investors. So we're short term coming down, but then this also ruins the breakout that we're seeing. In fact, if you head over to the Bitcoin chart, we had a break out of this falling wedge. I mentioned this in the Solana and all the updates on Friday about this pattern because I was suggesting that we would get an attempted breakout. It was actually a rejection in the end, which is something that I warned because we were leading into the weekend where there's the stock market shut and low liquidity anyways, and that's why it flatlined. And then on Monday, we got the breakout. So this now means we should expect further continuation higher and the target being 105 and 108K. But if you've been following all my updates on Solana and Bitcoin and the rest, I was saying even though we have targets to the upside, there are so many resistances in the way that could knock it back down. And the very first red box it came into, it got knocked back down. And we've seen a reaction across the market as some coins were up 5, 10, 20% earlier today. Now all those pumps have been retraced and creates these wicks, and these wicks are bearish continuation candles, or as we were pumping, bearish reversal candlestick patterns. So there is going to be an attempt at losing this 200 EMA. That needs to hold. On Bitcoin, that's 95K. So on Solana, that's about $189. Solana needs to hold above $189 if it wants to still meet these targets out of the falling wedge that it's printing on its own chart. But the signals that the moving averages are giving, and this what we've seen across the market today, the reaction at some point coins were up 20%, guys. Now they're down into minus. This creates huge wicks. Solana wasn't up as much. Let's just double check how much that wick was. Not big whatsoever, only 2.88%. But in the end, we're seeing 3 days in a row now maintaining this newly formed bearish cross. And in doing so, we're seeing other bearish crosses. So unless I'm seeing, and I've mentioned this in the past update, Solana getting back above 215, let's just call it, then we are going to roll over and keep attempting to lose this key level of support. This would start a much deeper correction, and I don't want that to be the case as a Solana, heavily invested in Solana, literally my top altcoin. So I really don't want this to lose this key level of support. I'm going to have to do the TA just in case, whether it actually does develop into that. Look, I've already marked out a key level of support, so we know that 180 to 190 it must hold if we want to in the future break out of these bearish crosses and these other key levels of resistances mentioned in the past update. So a loss of this key level would mean we would hunt the range low 169, and you can see the possible targets beneath that level. I do not want this double top to validate. I want the 200 EMA to hold and for this to develop into a double bottom instead of this double top at the moment. So we're ranging and it's deciding which it will eventually play out pretty much, whether it's the double top or the double bottom. And while the 200 EMA is holding, it's giving us every right to move through the moving averages, reclaim them, and turn this chart short-term bullish as well as macro bullish. So all it needs to do is break $215 until that very moment, with the 3 days in a row now rejecting, confirming these newly formed bearish crosses as resistance. It will attempt to lose the range low 180 to 190. And yeah, we need to see Solana bouncing from here and breaking through 215 to tap into the next resistance, 240 to 245. If we start losing this, then we're coming back down, attempting to target and lose this key support, $169. Thank you for tuning in today. If you want to get educated, use the links down below in the description. I've got a Discord live stream going on today where I'll of course analyze all the whole market and of course teach you how to read the charts just like me. Cheers.